Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Alison DiBarto Goggin with Little Black Bag Medicine, and today we are going to continue our story about anxiety and panic attacks. And this is so important because I was sitting in this functional blood chemistry seminar this weekend. So what I want to do is first give you the science, the physiology, what to look for, how to support it, how to test for it, and then I'll go on my rant. So I'll try and make this first part quick for you because so many women come to me, and myself included. And if you've been following me for the past 3 weeks, especially on my personal page, I've been talking about my personal struggles with anxiety, how I dealt with postpartum depression and mood spectrum issues. I'm really focused on essential oils and strategies and how to get better sleep and things like that. But this goes so much deeper, and it's such a common issue, and it's so dumb and simple, you're going to freak out. Like I am. When I did this weekend, I was like, I gotta call all my people right now. I have to let them know what's going on. So let's get started, because this class is for you. Is if you wake up and you're not hungry and you don't care, and you can go till 1 o'clock in the afternoon and not even think about it. Or you wake up, you're hungry, but you can grab a cup of coffee, a triple espresso, and maybe a muffin from Starbucks and be good for the rest of the day. This class is for you if you have major brain fog, you have no memory whatsoever, you're exhausted all of the time. This class is for you if you get hangry and you get irritable and shaky if you don't eat or you fall asleep. If you toss and turn all night, you have to pay attention to what's going to happen in the next few minutes, because this is going to change your life and your world. I promise you. If you feel hungover in the morning, but you don't drink, when you wake up, you feel like you got hit by a truck, you have a headache, your mouth is dry, your body hurts, you're like, well, how old am I? What did I just do? But you didn't drink. That's a problem that we can fix. Or if you feel like you could sleep all day or exercise, you have to exercise to get that quick hit of energy to make it through the day. There's people like that. I don't know. I don't feel like that. So I feel like that's crazy, but it's true. So this is not going to be a sexy conversation about the newest drug or the newest supplement or the newest product that you can rub all over you and you're going to sleep better. Because my question for you is, what happens when you stop using that supplement or that pill? And I love supplements. I love my oils. They can be supportive. They can change these patterns. But if you're becoming dependent on something, a cream or even essential oils, what happens when you stop taking that? If you didn't address your physiology and that underlying cause, then it's not doing anything for you. And it comes down to lifestyle, which is why I say it's not sexy. So let's talk about the quick basics of how your body actually works, because this is going to give us the underlying of why it's not working and what you can look for. So let's start with sleep. It's very, very simple. You go to sleep, your brain continues to work as you sleep, right? You're breathing, you're digesting food, you're making hormones. Things are happening in your body while you're sleeping. But for those things to happen, you need energy. So you're not eating. So your brain in the hypothalamus, it's actually the paraventricular nucleus, is a little group of cells that conducts your body and samples what's going on, and it puts out a hunger signal, but you're asleep. So it goes, all right, backup plan is, hey, adrenals, can you wake up and send out some cortisol? So the adrenals send out this hormone, and it goes to your liver and other parts of your body, and your cells start to release glucose. Gluconeogenesis, glycolysis, all these patterns. If you really want to go into it, hang out with me after this class or send me a message. But essentially, your body creates its own glucose. So that way it feeds your brain, and then you can stay alive and keep functioning. But that signal only lasts about 2 hours. So after about 2 hours, your brain goes, hey, adrenals, knock, knock, we could use some more cortisol. It goes, all right, up in that cortisol, more glucose. So you see these levels. Your brain's like, hey, we need some more. Up, 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 up. So that way, when you get up in the morning, your cortisol levels should actually be high. They're building upon each other. So you wake up, you're hungry, you feel good, and you're full of energy. Now, this is probably not you, because that's why you're here. You're like, something's going on with me in the morning. So if you're the person who wakes up every 2 hours and you're tossing and you're turning, you're like, oh, okay, I can fall asleep, but I can't stay asleep. That's you. That pattern is what's messed up. Now, that's the mild part. The intermediate section of this is you wake up every 2 hours and you're wide awake. You're like, man, I got to read to go back to bed. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I kind of stretch, and then I lay back down. If you're in the severe mode, which is what I get to see a lot, is you wake up every 2 hours and you're in a panic attack. You're having heart palpitations. You're having an asthma attack. And this is what triggered me this weekend. I was like, these are my people. I know what's going on with them. So you're going to sleep. Your brain's tapping on your adrenals saying, hey, can we get some cortisol? We need some energy. But your adrenals are done. They're tired. This is adrenal fatigue. And so what they do instead is they send out epinephrine and they send out adrenaline. So why is that important? Because epinephrine and adrenaline don't really produce the glucose, that fuel that our body needs to be able to function. So what do those hormones do? They make your heart race, right? They wake you up. What is adrenaline? Think of adrenaline. Man, your heart's going, you're pumping, you're racing, you're anxious, you're panicking. Your body's going into a frenzy. And if your lungs are compromised, if that lung barrier is compromised, you're having asthma attacks. You're feeling like you're having a heart attack. You're waking up in a hot sweat and you don't know why. That is a pattern that is off. So what we've been doing is going back and treating, all right, well, we're treating the adrenals, but really the core issue is actually the brain, which is why I use standard process, because we're using Simplex F, and most of you guys know that, which is the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, thyroid, and ovaries for women, or Simplex M for men. We're treating that entire cascade because your body is tired. Your brain gets worn out. Your brain's saying, we need fuel. We're not getting fuel. And maybe you're not getting fuel because you're ignoring the signals for hunger. You're too busy. You got to get the kids off. You got to go to work. You got to do this. I don't have time to eat. Or if you are eating, you're going to Dunkin' Donuts. You're going to the drive-thru. Something's not working. And then you suppress that signal for long enough. Your brain's like, fine, I'm done with you. You're done with me. I'm done with you. And it goes back to the adrenals, and it only goes back to the adrenals. So we call that plasticity, where our brain learns, our entire body learns how we treat it. We have a relationship with our body. So if you're telling your brain, I'm never going to feed you again, it's going to panic. It's going to freak out. And it has to relearn how to function again. And it takes time. So this is not well, Alison, I ate this morning. I don't feel better. You don't know what you're talking about. This is all right, Alison, I ate every day for 6 months. I feel better. Give it some time. So how do you fix it? Well, number one, you have to eat food, whether or not you freaking feel like it. And I'm telling myself this because when I'm that person that can go till 1:30 in the afternoon and be like, I'm intermittent fasting. No, I'm not. I'm just not hungry and I don't care. And when I went into that eating style of I woke up and I ate breakfast within 30 minutes of eating and I didn't drink coffee, I felt better. But I ignore that because I'm human, I'm lazy, or actually the opposite, I'm human and I'm not lazy. I'm like, go, let's get this day on. I'm going right up to my office, I'm getting things done. I'm killing my brain. You are killing your brain. So the first thing that we have to do is wake up, eat food, whether you want to or not, because you have to retrain your brain to send you hunger signals again. And it's going to take a while for your brain to perk up and say, oh, okay, I trust you now. And then, even if that means it's a protein shake or something really light and simple, but make sure it's protein and if you can, veggies. So an omelet. Maybe it's a protein shake with some greens thrown in there. Maybe it's a protein shake and you eat a couple salad. Brussels sprouts are great in the morning. I don't care. Something, protein and veggies in the morning is going to help not just your metabolism, but your brain and your adrenals. So that's the biggest thing you can do. The next thing is you have to eat enough calories. People who are acting like me, and I will scapegoat myself this entire time, especially women, were told the less you eat less, weight less. And we know that's not true, but that programming is so deep from our childhood, from growing up, from going through high school and health classes. We're all like, don't eat so much. You don't need that much food to live. And that's true for a lot of people, but most people who are in this pattern are either not eating the right things or they're not eating enough of it. And so track your calories and make sure they are at a good level. And yes, there's a difference between McDonald's calories and salmon and spinach calories, but you're probably not eating enough. If you have anxiety, you're waking up all the time, you're probably eating too much sugar and caffeine and not enough real food. And probably not just enough food in general. So make sure you're eating calories. Never skip a meal again. And that is the bottom line for you and me, if you're here watching this, that you cannot, no excuses. Even if it's late, you have to eat. And I don't mean like 11 o'clock at night. I mean, like if it's 11 o'clock's lunch and it's 1 o'clock, you still haven't eaten. Eat, 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 eat. Keep snacks with you all the time. And the biggest part of that, this whole eating thing, is that when you starve your body and you starve your brain, even if it's a minor starvation. I don't mean like you haven't eaten for weeks. I mean like you skip breakfast, and now it's 10:30 and you're super anxious and you can't go to work and you don't feel human and the world's falling apart and you can't manage your life. You have to eat before these symptoms start. So 10 o'clock is a crappy time of day for you, especially in the morning, or 9, pick your time. So if 10 o'clock is like panic time, your body's like, ding, 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 panic. And you go and you eat and you're like, I got to get coffee. I got to get Starbucks. I just got to eat something. And then you feel better. Eat at 9:30. Eat before the symptoms start. And so eat healthy fats, healthy proteins. Please, 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 fiber. And that will feed your brain, and your brain will go, ooh, fuel. Awesome. I can live like this. And then they're not going to be knocking at the door of your adrenals saying, hey, epinephrine, it's time to panic, because they don't need it anymore. So you have to switch this hormonal chemical imbalance that's really starting in your brain. And then it's cascading down into your adrenals. It's cascading down into reactive hypoglycemia, which turns into insulin resistance, which turns into hyperinsulinemia, which is when your blood sugar is too high, which turns into metabolic syndrome, diabetes type 1, type 2, type 1.5, type 3, which is Alzheimer's. And so it all starts in this section where we're not eating, our brain's panicking, and our body's just shutting down in an effort to stay alive. And we're like, what's wrong with us? I don't know why my brain's so tired. It's like, eat some freaking food, my friend. Oh my goodness. Okay. So eat before the symptoms start. I got a lot of notes here. So your brain knows that food's on the way. And then maybe in 4 to 6 months, if you are on point, I keep touching my desk because I'm so excited, shaking my phone. Maybe after 4 or 6 months, we can talk about intermittent fasting. Maybe after 4 to 6 months, we can talk about playing with your macros and playing with, well, what type of diet would, not diet, but food style would work best for you. How do we play with carbs? Are we going to go keto and do 40 grams? Or are we going to go holistic or hormonal based and do 120 grams? Are we going to go hardcore workout and you're going to eat 300 grams of carbs because you're working out and you're doing an awesome job? We don't know yet. So don't even mess with the macros except for the protein. Get that protein up, my friends. You have to. And let's go into testing. I will get close to Rand. I'm sorry. I know I take too long. So how do you test for this? How do you know what's going on? One, based off the symptoms. How are you sleeping at night? What is your body doing? When you eat food, are you tired or do you need sweets afterwards? These are all things that give us a clue into what's going on. We can do basic blood work like checking your glucose, hemoglobin A1C, looking at your triglycerides, because if your triglycerides are high, and that's it. And a lot of people say, oh, my cholesterol is great. My triglycerides are really, really high, but my doctor's like, just don't worry about it. Stop eating fats. That's actually an inflammation marker and an insulin resistance marker. So we know that we need to work on blood sugar management. We can do a GABA challenge, which is where you take a powdered supplement of GABA, which is a neurotransmitter, and take that. And then if you feel better, we know that you have a leaky blood-brain barrier, and we need to fix that inflammation in your brain first. And if you feel worse, that's also the same issue. But if you feel nothing, that's good, because that barrier is fine. And then, of course, as always, we have to go down inflammation, leaky gut, diet, hormones, unraveling those layers one at a time to see what's deeper. But until your brain can turn on and work and trust you back, all of that stuff that we're doing isn't going to stay, essentially. So you can do all this lifestyle work and supplement work, but if you continue to not eat and abuse your brain and abuse your body by not eating or not eating consistently or not doing the things that you know you need to do to manage your life, in 2 weeks when you're done with me, you're gonna say, oh, nothing, it didn't change, it didn't stay, because it's on you to manage that part of your body. So, okay, if you feel overwhelmed, which I feel right now, if you feel like you don't know where to start, then I would love to be able to help you with that. We can run a very simple blood test. We can get it for super cheap. Check what's going on with all of the basics in your body. See, is this coming from lifestyle? Do we need to manage the foods? What type of food should you eat? Where should you be hanging out? So message me to set up a consultation on my Facebook page. That's easy enough. Or you can email me at yourOilDoc@gmail.com. My website at littleblackbagmedicine.com has a book online, so you can set up a free consultation with me so we could talk about what has worked, what hasn't worked, what's going on, and what's the next step for you, and really start managing that plan so you can figure out why you're experiencing your symptoms and how to get back to your life. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it laid out some ideas of what might be going on in your body when you're experiencing these symptoms, why you're experiencing them. And now that you know all these things, you have the power. You have the power to heal your body, to heal your brain, to heal your hormones. There is not something outside of you that is going to heal you. And how cool and scary and frustrating and wonderful is that? That is up to you. And I'm here to guide you. I have people who guide me. I have accountability partners with food and nutritionist support and cooking support. But in the end, if I don't wake up and eat food and breakfast, healthy ones, that's on me and that's on you too. So we're in it together. You're not alone. You have the power and I am here to support you. So let me know what questions you have, how I can help you, what's worked, what hasn't worked. I would love to toss this conversation around and start experimenting together with, tracking what did I eat today and at what time did I eat today? And then how did you sleep that night? Oh my gosh. And that first night, honestly, when I started was really rough. Those first couple days, probably because my blood sugar was going up and down and my cortisol was going up and down and my up and down, like, oh my gosh, my hormones went crazy. But after a couple days, man, I've been sleeping so good. And I've noticed that I stole, is that the right word? My husband bought a thing of walnuts that were crushed up and he put it in a Ziploc bag because he made this Asian meal that was so good. So I stole the walnuts out of the pantry and I sat there and I ate walnuts during this whole seminar, like a little squirrel, because I'm listening to this guy going, eat food, eat before your symptoms start, don't wait, eat all day. For people who have these types of issues, I'm like, okay, I hear you, I got this. And normally I have major panic attacks when I'm trapped. I call it being trapped because I don't know how else to explain it. But seminars, conventions, I sit next to the door and I sit next to the bathroom and I'm like, as soon as I can get out of here, I'm out of here. But that day they had all the liposomals out, which were really cool. They had neurobalance, which is nitric oxide balance. Oh my gosh, this stuff was better than coffee. I was wide awake. And then they had a glutathione recycler and an antioxidant, resveratrol, a couple other things. And normally when I go to conventions or seminars, not conventions necessarily, but different company seminars, they're like, ooh, try this and ooh, try this. And you're like, oh, this tastes really bad. And I don't feel anything. Like I was really disappointed a couple this year with supplements that go through physicians. Let's be clear, not my oils, not anything else, but I don't feel anything. But when I took these supplements, my brain was like, hello. I was like, okay, we're paying attention. And I still was a little panicky. I still had that acid reflux, but and then they had another acetylcholine balance, and I took one, and I had like no acid reflux and no panic. And I was like, ooh, and I'm sitting eating my walnuts. So there is a balance. And as we start to figure out each balance upon itself, it just ends up being really cool. So there's my rant. Um, if you have any questions, message me. Please make sure to eat your food, go back through this, relearn how your brain is working, and let me know how I can support you. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday for the next Tuesday tips at 1:30 on Tuesdays. I'm doing happy for the holidays because we all know how to be healthy. We all know how to eat. We all know that we're going to eat the whole pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, and that's okay. And my daughter's like the greatest baker ever, and she's going to make so much crap, and I'm going to eat it all and love it. Um, and we know how to be healthy. So, how do we be happy? How do we get our brains to function? How do we get our emotions to process? How do we just enjoy our days together? So I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any topics you would like to learn about, message me. I would love to know. So I will talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.